was once you go Shaq, you never go back.
Ooh,
What?
is
Yeah.
that
Ooh.
so?
First of all, if anybody says Michael Jordan is hating, you're an idiot. You would show up late to the pregame meetings, eating rice and chicken, never warmed up, went and got 20 freaking rebounds a game. After the game, never showered, went to the club, and had all the beautiful girls in LA at his table all over him.
You're fucking wild. Welcome to the Ashley Nevel Show. Today we got the most dominant big man in NBA history, the only guy who's too big to fit in a Ferrari, and the reason Charles Barkley hasn't had a peaceful night's sleep in 20 years. Shaq, I hope you're ready because today we're going beyond the paint, beyond the business, and straight to whatever wild stories you haven't told us yet. Thank you so much for joining the show. How are you?
I'm fabulous. How about yourself? I want to say big fan of yours. I love your takes. You're very fair.
Thank
And
you.
you say what's on your mind. And you have permission to say anything about me.
I try to I try to keep what I say about you all positive because
Well, thank you.
of course you do a great job too. I know it's difficult to be in a position where you want to be able to stay positive, but also give your takes, be honest. You know, I know that former NBA players in the past, like with just situations where they might not like what you have to say, but you have a job as a reporter to tell it like it is.
And not only that, that's why I'm big on G14 classification. Like, for example, if you haven't won championships, I don't think you can really have a take on winning a championship. And the fact that I have four, I think I really have a good take. If you haven't been a superstar or a dominant player, then I don't think you can really have a take on what a superstar does and how a superstar is supposed to perform. You can have your opinion, but I just try to give my take. And a lot of times people call it hating, but if I go to a fruit store, a smoothie store, and I taste a great smoothie, right? And it's old, it's long, and then you come up with these new smoothies, and I'm not impressed because it's not as great as the other smoothie. You shouldn't be mad at me. So people have to understand. I played with Penny Hardaway. I know what greatness is. Played with Kobe. I know what greatness is. I played with D Wade. I know what greatness is. I've seen Magic and Michael and Jordan and Bird and all these great players, so I know what greatness is, and I've been a part of greatness. So if you want to call yourself great, I need you to fit inside of that realm. And a lot of times these guys don't fit inside of that realm. And Kenny Smith said something very interesting one day. He said, just because you make a lot of money with the way things going on doesn't mean you're a great player. And I have to agree with that.
You know, that's always a controversial subject because people don't understand how the new collective bargaining agreement is, the cap, the TV deals. Just because these guys are getting paid $50 million a year, you can say, oh, they didn't earn it. But in a sense, that's just what the economy is able to afford them at this time. So it's not like, oh, they're worthy because they won a championship or they won an MVP. That would be worthy. But it's just the way all of the inner workings of basketball is right now.
And I think the way they should thank the people who've paved the way for them is to just be great. When I was coming up, I'm sure Michael Jordan and Barkley and those guys felt the same about me because I was one of the first guys to get astronomical numbers that didn't prove himself. And I heard all the noise and I just said to myself, okay, I will be inside the realm.
Yeah.
And when it's all over and done, I will definitely be in the building with you guys. And a lot of these guys don't do that now. And I'm happy for them that they make a lot of money, but I understand business. You understand business. If you want to protect this thing of ours for the next generation, just got to play at a high level. And we do have people that are playing at very high levels now. The games have been very, very interesting. Everybody thought Cleveland was gonna go on and possibly win an NBA championship. Indiana stunned them. The Boston and New York thing. Jason Tatum went down. I hope he goes well. Austin Flurry last night. That Celtic pride. So the pressure's on the Knicks on Friday. It's going to be a great game, and it's been a great playoffs. And you still got the West Coast going on. Denver went up on OKC, and OKC has regained the lead. So
Yep.
now, what is the Joker going to do? The Joker. People have been saying the Joker hasn't really played that well. He's an MVP candidate, him and Shea. So these games have been very, very interesting, and those guys have really played up to par. But you have to continue to do that.
So I had to ask you a follow up before we jump into our first segment here. When you mentioned you know what greatness looks like because you've played with players who embody greatness, you've played against players who embody greatness. When you take a look at the league right now, who is a player that embodies that greatness who hasn't quite won a championship yet, almost got there, but not quite there yet, but you think that they're going to have a successful career and be at that level that you're talking about?
Many players. Let's start off with Anthony Edwards is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Victor Wembanyama has that potential. Joker is already there. One ring. I'd like to see him get 2 or 3 more. Shea Gilgeous Alexander is amazing.
Yes.
So, as long as you got options to where you can go to, when I was coming up, some people like Magic. Some people like Bird.
Mm-hmm.
There's a young kid named Jordan. Some people like Detroit. If you got 4 options in a league,
Yeah.
the league's doing great. The league's doing great. So I just mentioned those names. Giannis is still in that. Donovan Mitchell played great this year. So there's a lot of guys. And then there's this talk about who's going to be the next face of the league. If I was one of these young players, I would definitely want that. Because I remember when Jordan left and they was talking about who's the new face of the league. I was like, I'll show you who the new face of the league is.
Yeah. And you did
So,
a
yes.
great job.
So, but we have a lot of young, exciting players. And then everybody talking about how they thought the NBA draft was rigged. And here comes Cooper Flag. So the
Me?
league is in a good place.
I said it was rigged.
Oh, you did?
I did. Yeah. I mean, sometimes I say shit just because I want the views and the ratings, but I do question just the timing, right? Like when you take a look at history, when LeBron left Cleveland, like they got the first pick, right? Like it's happened. But then I had to think to myself, do we really think all these other owners in the NBA are going to be okay with that, right? Like, are they not going to like put their foot down and say, Adam Silver, like we're also part owners of this league too. What are you doing here? Unless he made some promises under the table that I don't know about. But I'm a big conspiracy theorist.
I don't know if you heard this story, but in 1992, I think the draft was in June or something. I meet Mr. Stern in March, and he says to me, "Hey, know who you are. Can't wait for you to come to the NBA." Then he pulls me to the side. You want to play where it's cold or where it's hot? He asked me that.
No.
Yeah, he did. He asked me that, and I was like, hot. And he smiled, and I smiled. And then a couple of days later, they had the draft thing, and the top 3 things, and then Minnesota was number 3. I was like, and then Charlotte was number 2, and then Orlando, Florida was number 1. I was like, I didn't think anything about it, but you hear a lot of these conspiracy theories, and there's a lot of situations that could make these things sound good and sound true. Like, okay, Dallas gets rid of one of the best players, but we're getting a new one. Ding, 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 ding. So I don't want to use the word conspiracy theory, but it's very interesting how it all played out.
And I think Utah could have been like the most upset about that, but I do think Utah was tanking on purpose this year, not playing to their hardest. And I also think Adam Silver likes to put his foot down and say, listen, like, you still have a job to do, right? Like, you still have to keep it competitive. You got to play your best players every night. Like, this is our product. Like, you can't just take nights off. But there is a draft pick potentially next year. He's going to BYU, AJ. He's going to be a potential number 1 pick. So there might be something there like, hey, Utah, just play it cool for 1 more year and we'll gift you this guy. It's not too far-fetched. I don't know.
Yeah, I know AJ and his family. I wish him well. He's a great kid.
Yeah.
Comes from a great family. His father, mother, they come from a great family. If that happens, you called it out first.
So you've lived about 17 different lives. NBA superstar, rapper, actor, sheriff, business mogul, DJ. You might honestly be Batman at this point. So today we're playing Shaq or Cap. And I'm going to hit you with some facts that may or may not be true. And you need to tell me if it's Shaq or Cap.
And knowing you, how smart you are, you probably did some secret research.
I did. I didn't add everything in here. So you spent $1 million in one day as a rookie. True or false?
True.
What did you spend all that money on?
Well, not $1 million, because I like it and be truthful, but you round it off. So I tell the story how, you know, when it comes to financial literacy,
Hmm.
we need to learn and understand. So briefly, is my agent calls me. He's like, "Hey, got you $1 million car deal. It's in the bank. We already sent the check." So now in my mind, I got $1 million. I always wanted a black on black Mercedes. So let's just do simple math. That costs 150. So I go get it, and I come home, and I'm showing off my dad, my friends. My dad was like, "Man, that's nice. I wish I had one of them." I was like, "You know what, big man? Hey, 1 million minus 150. I got 850 left. Let's do it." So I went and go buy him the same car. So
Wow.
there goes. So there's $300,000 dream. So we get home. We get on Army base. We're showing off, and then my mom was like, "Man, that's so beautiful." I was like, "You know what, mom? You're not gonna get the big one, but there's one right under it. So there goes another 100,000 right there. So that's 400,000. Now you know us rappers. I got to get the chains.
Of
I got
course.
to get the earrings. There was this condo that I wanted downtown. I paid the rent off for the year. It was 7,000 a month. I was like, because I will be coming back home, but not going to be staying on Army base. So let me go and get
Yeah.
this penthouse. So basically, I spend about 700,000, and then I get a call from the bank the next day, and the guy pulled me to the side. He said, "Shaq, I've been watching you grow up, and I don't want you to be like all the other athletes who go broke." And I was like, "Okay, where is this going?" And he showed me the piece of paper. And you're a businesswoman. You see income tax and sales tax, and there was this word that said FICA. And FICA had took so much money. I look at the bank. I was like, "Who the fuck is FICA?" But, what I'm saying? Because like you hear all these stories how agents and all these people steal money. So I got 1 million, but I didn't net 1 million because I had to take out the sale, the state tax, the income tax, and
Oh
then
shit.
FICA. So I really only got about 650. You know what I'm saying? After all
Yeah.
the taxes, but I thought it was 1 million flat. So I spent the whole check up on, just taking care of business. So after that, I was like, you know what? This is a valuable lesson, but I had to take care of myself, take care of my because I knew I had other money coming in. This
Yeah.
was just the first little bang, but that's true. That's a true story.
And I think you kind of spent it on things somewhat reasonable. A place to live, a
Yes.
car. You need to get from point A to point B. The chains, like you do have to uphold a certain look and a status. And I understand why people do it. So I don't think it was that crazy, but I respect it. You learn from it. You moved on. So the
Yep.
next one we have, you once made a free throw with your eyes closed in an actual NBA game. Is this Shaq or Cap?
Cap.
Cap. Okay. Do you think you could do it? Would you have ever tried it?
Only if we're about 40.
Okay. You once bought a car for a random kid just because he said he liked it. Is this Shaq or Cap?
Shaq.
What did you buy him?
I think it was like a little Honda Accord.
Okay. I really like this G Wagon I saw the other day, by the way.
So
Just
what?
a G Wagon. I saw a nice one the other day. Just letting you know.
And how much it cost?
Ooh, we're talking a lot.
You know,
Hundreds of thousands.
you look like a Tesla lady.
I would love a Tesla.
Yeah.
I am more of a small car kind of girl. I will be honest, the last time I drove a bigger car, I got in 2 car accidents in the parking garage. I don't know how that happens, but yeah. The first one wasn't my fault. The second one was. I am more of like a sports car, like a small sports car kind of girl.
Yeah.
I'm only 5 feet tall.
Oh, you
Like
are.
I'm like the opposite of you.
I
Yes.
thought you were tall. You look tall with
No,
you.
no, with the heels, I play it off right, but I'm like the
You're not.
complete opposite.
You're 5 foot. I thought you were
Five
like
foot.
5'8", 5'9".
Thank you. I wish I
You're
had the
so
long
cute.
legs.
You're so cutie patootie.
Thank you. I know you could just pick me up and throw me in your bag, throw me in a suitcase. But yeah, this is why like big cars, I can't. So Tesla,
Awesome.
smaller sports car, be nice.
Yeah.
The next one we have, you once made a business deal based on a game of rock, paper, scissors.
Cap.
Cap. You once turned down a $50 million McDonald's deal because they wouldn't give you an unlimited McNuggets for life.
Cap.
Cap. If you did have a deal with them, would you expect that? Unlimited?
No.
No.
The Nuggets are cool, but I'm number one.
Number one. So would you expect a number one free for life, unlimited?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, that's fair. You once paid all of your teammates fines just because you felt like it.
Shaq.
Wow. How much was that?
I don't know, a lot.
Damn, didn't make a dent in your
Yeah,
bank
no.
account at all. You once ran a full marathon without telling anyone, just for fun.
Oh, oh, Cap, I'm not a runner.
Not a runner. How long do you think
No,
you'd be able to last?
not at all. Not, not
No.
at all.
Okay. Last one we got here. You once trained with an actual Navy SEAL team.
True.
How was that? Were you like dying and throwing up after or what?
Only thing I couldn't do was jump out the helicopter.
I would not attempt that.
Yeah, they jumped out of the helicopter but everything else we did. We did breaches, shooting, long distance shooting. Yeah, we did all that.
Wow. Did you learn a lot from them?
Of course.
What did you learn? Like, what is the biggest thing that you've learned? Because it's not just about physical, right? A lot of it's mental. Like, what was your biggest takeaway when you were with them?
So growing up with a drill sergeant father, your programs that once you're being taught something,
Yeah.
it stays forever. So just like how to breach, shooting long distances, breathing, techniques, and which eye to use, a right eye dominant, left eye dominant, just like little military tactics.
Wow. I love that. All right. Our next segment here. A lot of players usually just chill on the beach once they're retired. But you've built an empire. You own more businesses than most people have outfits. Probably not me. I have 3 closets filled, but that's beyond the point. So let's talk about the blueprint, how you went from dunking on dudes to dominating in the business world. So people talk a lot about like athlete turned businessmen, but very few reach your level. What's the biggest money move you made that most people don't know about?
It's not about money moves. It's about partnerships. It's about teamwork for me. My parents did a, excuse me, they did a great job of raising me with horror stories. When you come from nothing, you get into something, you got a decision to make. You want to stay into something or go back to nothing. So, being that I am the the man of the family now, it is my responsibility to make sure we maintain this lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you do that? Of course, you don't play forever. So, when you get opportunities to do certain things, you have to take advantage of those opportunities. They were very big on education. And, education doesn't always mean go to school and look at books and graduate. Education means whatever business or whatever opportunity you may have for yourself, educate yourself to where you become a master in whatever you're doing. So, you know, uh, I like to read quotes. The greatest quote I saw was things that are difficult, you break it down to the simplest form. So, for example, if I wanted to do a podcast network, I would definitely call you because you're really good at what you do.
Thank you.
You would probably run it. I would fund it. We'd be partners.
Mm-hmm.
We'd be honest with each other. We talk about the business, we understand the business, and we grow it. So, as much as I get all the accolades for being a great businessman, it's about the partnerships. For example, I want to be in the fun alcoholic consumption business. Okay, so as a businessman, do I want to open up a factory? Do I want to go do taste testing? Do I want to do this? Do I want to deal with the FBA? Or do I want to partner up with somebody that already has that infrastructure
Mm-hmm.
and then do the deal like that? So most of my deals are all paper deals with great teammates. And that's because, when it's hard, like I want to do this, you simplify it. I don't know nothing about FDA. I know nothing about testing. I know nothing about planting. I know nothing about alcohol consumption. I know nothing about 11.1, 10.1. I know nothing about that, but I know people that do. We partner with them, and here you have it. So most of my deals are partnerships, and my agent told me that when you're in a partnership, the good thing about the deal is the renewal. For example, I'm on my 18th renewal with Icy Hot.
Wow.
My 18th renewal with Icy Hot. So, and then again, it wasn't about the money for me. It's just about being able to sustain what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. It's also about educating my children and people that look up to me
Yeah,
because
I love that.
because because 75% of athletes 0 to 5 years after they're done have nothing,
Mm-hmm.
not even $1 coming in. And I never wanted to be like that because I always tell the story that one day my mother was taking me to a game and she stopped in front of this little house and she was just looking at the house because growing up, we grew up in the projects, moved to Germany, moved to Georgia. They gave us army housing, but every house on the base looked the same, so it wasn't really a house. It was more like barracks. So we're going off site, and she's looking at this little house. And as a dreamer, as a kid, I said to myself, when I get rich, I'm gonna buy my mama a house like that. So it's just if I don't do what I'm supposed to do, my mother loses her house. That's the only thing I'm focusing on. So, when you put something above you and think about something that's above you, it helps you stay focused. See, a lot of us don't stay focused. Chains, cars,
Hmm.
this, that, and you don't think about stuff that's important. Like if I blow this money, where's my mother gonna live? I'm the one who told my mother quit her little secretary job.
Hmm.
Say, hey, I'm gonna take care of you, lady. So if you're gonna take care of your mom, take care of your mom. So everything I do is just based on, and then you start having children, and you got to think about the future and think about their kids. So everything I do is just based on family and education and just, being able to take advantage of opportunities.
Well, your parents definitely raised you right. And I think as you start to get your foot in the door with business opportunities, it's also when you're able to like read people and have gut instincts. I've realized too with me going into certain partnerships, if I get like a weird sense or like just the energy's off or I don't feel like I can trust them, like there's been opportunities like I've had to turn down, even if it's a good paying opportunity. If I don't feel like I can grow with this person or this company, it's not going to be worth me investing all my time and energy into. So I think like there's power in saying no. I think
Yeah,
when you're starting to come up, it's like you want to say yes to all the opportunities. You don't want to turn anything down. You want to be able to diversify your assets, diversify what you're doing every day. And I like to do different things. I'm not just like a one-trick pony, but I think there is power in saying no. And I don't think people talk about that enough.
I agree.
If you were starting from scratch today, how would you build your empire in the age of TikTok?
I would definitely show my personality. I remember when I was first getting drafted, you don't know what's going to happen, so you rely on certain people to sell you things. So first thing I have to do is after spending all this money, I need money management team.
Mhm.
I need the top five. Bring them in. Hey man, I'll make you a billionaire by 30. He's out. Guy comes in with a fancy suit. Hey man, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. He's out. Man, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. We out. Hey, I'm very conservative. I manage NWA. Oh, Easy E. I like this little guy right here. So we got the money team now. Suits image consultants, and you got all these people that are coming in and they're telling you what your image should be. And I quickly had to stop them and let them know that image is reality. Because and I know being in this business, there's a lot of people that sell us in a million different ways. And then when reality kicks, something comes out, something that you didn't know.
Mhm.
So with me, I try to show you who I am in real life. So to answer your question, because when I do social media, it's 60% to make you laugh, 30% to inspire you. I may steal a quote or make a quote, and then 10% to let you know what I'm selling. Hey, Shaq B-Bucks. Hey, Icy Hot, this and that.
Mhm.
So in the age of TikTok, I would just show my personality. I would show my personality. So if you happen to see me in real life, you'd be like, you know what? I've seen him on TikTok. He's funny and he's funny in real life. That's what image is to me. So to answer to another part of your question, I'd be a trillionaire now. I always sit back and say, I wish I was 17 right now because I would take the NIL money. So let's say AJ's getting five, I would take three and put it away,
Mhm.
and I would take 500,000 for myself to just have fun. I would give my mom 1 million, and I would give my dad 1 million, and I would take that three and give it to a financial advisor that said, "Don't let me touch this until I'm 30. I don't care if I go broke doing all that stuff. Do not let me touch it until I get 30. You invest it and boom, 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 boom. Don't be risky with it, but so at 18, hopefully by the time you're 30, the 3 million is 9, 10 million, just in case everything goes wrong. That's what I would do. Like I see a lot of these guys get the NIL money and they get happy, but you can't get happy until you get to the ultimate prize, and that's what these kids don't understand.
So you touch on something interesting too, because outside of what I do, I also manage a couple athletes more in the bodybuilding space. Um,
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah, a couple people in the bodybuilding space.
Oh,
I actually used to do work with, raw nutrition, raw
oh, okay.
nutrition. So I used to
Well,
work. with them with Chris Bumstead and different athletes there.
You know what? I love him. I'm so
He's
jealous of him.
he's honestly what I love the most about him is everyone looks at him like for, the fitness advice and working out, but he's another one of those guys that's just like so down to earth and
He
you
is.
know exactly who he is when he walks through the door. He doesn't have to pretend to be something he's not.
So every now and then when I get in the gym, I put on some Baby Yola and I start doing my poses routine.
Can we see one of these days?
Yeah. No, I'm actually looking for one right now.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That would be really funny if you did a collaboration with Chris and had him like walk through poses with you and
You
do
know
like
what?
that'd be amazing.
So right now I have a 4-pack. Let me get it to a 12-pack, and then
Okay.
once I get to a 12-pack, I'll do it.
I love it. Well, you're 8 eggs a day with some sausage in the morning. It sounds
Yeah.
like you're on
Yes.
the right track. It sounds like to
No,
me a
I am.
keto diet, high protein, low carb.
I'm on it.
I love it.
Yeah. Bodybuilding. That's crazy.
But yeah, with the social media, I think it's important that you touch on, and I don't think a lot of high school kids even think about this or even college, the 3 pillars. I always I never go into a situation with an athlete I'm working with being like, I'm going to tell you who you are, but I let them decide what are 3 things about you that you want people to know, right? And for you, you said entertainment factor, more of like an informative, I'll tell you a little bit about me, but also I'm going to give my takes on the NBA, a little bit more serious. But then also, like, yeah, you're selling something. I think people don't realize when you're trying to build a social media, even companies, businesses, individual athletes, celebrities. I think when you have that pillar, that foundation of like a strategy for social media, and you be consistent with it, that's when your shit can take off. So I wish more. Wow.
Getting close. Yeah.
You're looking good. How much are
Yeah.
you down?
I'm down about 60.
Congrats. That's so hard to do.
Yeah. But I want to like this summer. I want to get like the 12-pack.
You should go train with Chris. Go down
No.
to Florida. You kind of touched on this, but a $1 billion habit that people overlook but made the biggest difference in your financial success, would you just say partnerships and trust?
Partnerships, trust, and paying attention. For me, when I make investments, it's not always about the monetary aspect.
Mhm.
It's about things that'll change people's lives. So, I when I first came in, I was trying to get rich quick and failed on every investment. And then I heard Jeff Bezos say, if you invest in things that's going to change people's lives, the return on your investment will always be rewarding. So I started doing that, and it's been going good for me. I was very smart with mine. Again, my mother's house is at stake. First thing I did as a youngster, I was making so much money is I saw a word. Well, somebody told me a word that I've never heard in my life. Annuity. I was
Annuity.
making so much money,
Hmm.
and I didn't know. Like people always say, invest, but you have to know what you're investing in.
Hmm.
So I was like, you know what? This annuity is. I got so much money. Let me put it away, and then this is just in case everything goes wrong. I can still collect when I'm 40,
Hmm.
45, and 50. So I got 3 different annuities that's just a nest egg in case everything goes wrong. But everything else is just I just try to be smart. I just try to be tactful. But you asked a question early. How do I want to be remembered? And you talk about the 3 pillars. I just want people to say he was a nice guy. Because I did a press conference about 6, 7 years ago. I was like, I don't want y'all to put me in a celebrity space. Because celebrities are assholes. You got all these fucking idiots doing dumb shit, saying dumb shit.
Facts.
I never want to be in that space. And if you ever meet me in real life, you see that I don't have an entourage, not disrespectful. I'm yes, sir. I'm yes, ma'am. I love the children.
Hmm.
I'm a nice guy because I realize that the life that I live in is a lot of blessings and a lot of luck. And I don't take those things for granted because I've seen people take those things for granted, take advantage of their power, and lose their power.
Hmm.
I know who I am. I've been knowing who I am a long time. I don't have to disrespect anybody to prove myself as a person. If you're nice, I'm nice. If you're a fuckface, I can be a fuckface. I try not to go in that space. So, like a lot of people ask, how do you want to be remembered? Just say he was a nice guy.
Hmm.
Doesn't matter. Oh, he made this and he invested in that. None of that really matters. Is he a nice guy? When you see him, did he shake your hand? Was he nice? Was he rude? Was he polite? So
Mhm.
that's how I want to be remembered. Because all this other superficial stuff, it doesn't matter.
And you said something interesting too, is that you know who you are. A lot of these guys don't know who they are, and they
Uh,
think that their success is just measured by their bank account or by the accolades they accrue while they're playing in the NBA. What advice would you have for guys who are maybe dealing with a crisis of not knowing who they are, having to like fake it till you make it and try to pretend to be something that they're not?
I mean, you have to try to figure out who you want to be,
Yeah.
and then use the help around you to get there. Like my mother and father always kept me grounded. I remember one time I was being arrogant. We went out to dinner one time. It was me and my mom. I just wanted to focus on my mom, but people were coming up, and I was like, "Hey man, get out my face!" My mom was like, "Don't do that, baby. Don't you ever do that." So after she scolded me that, I never did that again. She's like, "You have to be nice to people. Like I know you're eating and it's kind of rude, but maybe they like you. They enjoy what you're doing. She approached you nice. You don't have to be like that, baby. But I'm trying to spend time with you. I know, baby, but you don't have to talk to people like that." So and then again, when you grow up in a disciplinarian family with my father, you're not allowed to make the same mistake twice. So whenever they say something, because it's been programmed since being born, you make a mistake, you get in trouble, you delete that mistake. So ever since I did that in front of my mom, she was not happy with me the whole night. She's like,
Um,
I, I don't want to see you like that, baby. You don't have to be rude to people like that. Yeah, but mom, I want to eat. I haven't seen you in 2 weeks. I'm trying to eat dinner with you. No, baby, you know, it doesn't matter, baby. You're one of the world's most recognizable faces. People are going to come up. It's something you're going to have to deal with the rest of your life. If you don't want people to come up to you, baby, stay in the house and watch how fun that is. So, after I was scolded for being arrogant in front of my mother, I never did it again.
I love that. Um, yeah, they definitely raised you right. And I'm assuming, too, it was kind of a household where it's interesting because people were scared of you on the court. And I was going to ask you, like, have you ever been scared in real life? And I would assume that the household that you were in, especially with your dad, with his background and discipline and all of that, did you fear him in a sense? Like you didn't want to do anything wrong?
I wouldn't use it as fear, just highly respect it.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you got disciplined by a drill sergeant, like he would just come up with stuff. And I always tell people it's like a Karate Kid style life. Like,
Yeah.
for example, if he told me to take the trash out and I didn't take the trash out, I'd have to take the trash out at everybody's house.
Wow.
Everybody's house, because you take the trash out and you put like you have to put the bins out on Tuesday,
Mm-hmm.
right, for the garbage truck. So like early Tuesday morning, I'd have to wait for the garbage truck and be like, after the garbage truck pass each house on the bay, you take the thing and you put it back in the house neatly. Oh, okay. You was running your mouth. All right, come to the track, run 20 laps. So things like that. So every time I didn't want to get in trouble because I didn't know what he was going to do.
Yeah.
And I thank him for it because being that we traveled a lot, traveled around, it enables me to interact with people from all over. Being that I got disciplined a lot, it enables me to know that once you make a mistake, never make that mistake again. So I'm glad he was hard on me. I'm glad he disciplined me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad he taught me how to be fierce on the court. And I'm a sensitive guy, and my mother taught me something very interesting one day. She's like, instead of getting upset, see if there's some truth inside the criticism. Like one person said one day, listen, Shaq was a really great player, but we can't really say he was the greatest player because he had troubles down the stretch with the free throws. I was mad as hell at that statement because I ain't gonna lie, when you talk about the greatest players of all time, I would like my name to be mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that he said that is like, hey, Shaq was one of the greatest, but he wasn't a great free throw shooter. I'm like, damn, it's the truth. Holy shit. So I'm not in that conversation. Rather than go, no, I got 4 rings. I don't care about that. I got 3 finals MVP. Like, if there's some truth inside the criticism, you really can't get mad. But I've always used criticism as motivation.
Mm-hmm.
I love being criticized. I really do. And
Yeah.
then, you talk about G14 classification. When it comes to sports, I would like to have the G14 classification, but when it comes to highly respected journalists like yourself and Ernie, I'll listen to it. And if
Mm-hmm.
it's not right, I'll delete it. And if it is right, I'll try and fix it. But I'll use criticism as motivation. A lot of these guys can't take the criticism, and we're giving them the answers. Oh, you're just hating. You just hating because you only made 20 million. I make 50 million. But like, yeah, but I know how to win. I know how to perform in a
Mhm.
game 6 and a game 7, and this is all you have to do. And it's just so simple.
You mentioned free throws, and everyone talks about Hackshack and how that's a thing of today as well. Does that upset you at all, or do you understand that it's a
No,
strategy?
it's a strategy, and a lot of times when I needed to hit them in certain situations, I did, and the times I didn't hit them, we lost.
Mm.
And when you're the guy, you have to understand that. And I done tore all my houses up, being able not to perform. Tell you another story about my father. One day picks me up because I'm doing great in school. Picks me up and say, "Hey man, you're doing good in school. I'm proud of you. I got 2 tickets. We go watch a San Antonio Spurs game." And he had to borrow the money to get the tickets. So we go to the game. It's a freaking terrible game. So on the way back, he's pissed off because he borrowed money from his friend. Now you got to pay him back. So he hits me in the chest. Boom. If you ever get to this level where people pay all this goddamn money to watch you play, make sure you put on a good show. So every time I stepped on the court, I wanted to put on a good show. So if you're supposed to win a championship and these people are fouling you, they're challenging you. Put on a good show. Make them shut up. So the times that I did hit them, we won, and it enabled me to get 4 championships. But in my mind, I think I should have 6 or 7. So 3 or 4 times I didn't come through. And it's a strategy. It's also a sign of respect. Like, hey, we can't stop this guy, but he has a little deficiency.
Hmm.
So let's take advantage of that. So, I mean, but the times that I did hit him and stepped up, I would always talk crap to the crowd and, make them feel bad and we win. But listen, it's part of the game. It's part of the strategy. It's part of my dominance that I displayed on the court.
So when you mentioned that a lot of guys can't take the criticism, which a lot of guys can't, they go on their podcast right after the game, run their mouth, all sensitive and shit. Michael Jordan is now going to be making his presence known on NBC next year. Do you think he's going to come with a level of honesty of your magnitude where it might come off as hating to some people, but you're just being honest, you're being real about dissecting the game? Or do you think he's going to be praising a lot more with this generation? Like, what kind of vibe do you think we're going to get from him?
First of all, if anybody says Michael Jordan is hating, you're an idiot. This man is the only man on earth with G19 classification. G19, higher than the president of the United States classification. Like, of course, there's a president, but this guy is the guy that can go behind the doors and get shit done. So if Jordan says, I don't think this guy is good, you're not that fucking good. I don't care how many points you're averaging. If Jordan says you should do this, you should do it. Like, a lot of times instead of being into your feelings, just listen to what the greatest player who's ever played the game has to say.
Hmm.
I would love to be playing right now and Jordan. Yeah, like Shaq tries to go to the middle. Maybe he should use finesse game. You know what I'm gonna do when I hear that shit? I'm gonna go home and practice all my finesse shit, and then the next game I'm gonna be trying to show Mike that, hey, Mr. Jordan, I have finesse in my game too. So for anybody to say that Mike is hating after he makes a good comment or a bad comment, it just doesn't. It like don't even sound right. But I know people would love to hear from him. Like for example, when I'm watching football, I'm a football guy, but when Tom Brady talks, I love to hear the stories. And guess what? I believe him. You know why I believe you, Tom? I was at all the Super Bowls that you won. I was there in the big suites watching you do what you do in the Super Bowl. So, like, like, and I always tell people, how can I hate on you if you're under me? Makes no sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like when I say under you, I mean in stature. Like, Why would a why would the Golden State Bridge hate on a local bridge in a country town? It makes no sense.
Yeah. You're never
Like
going to
if
hate on someone doing more than you, or
that's what I'm saying.
in a
Yeah, doing
sense.
less. Yeah, so I don't people just thought, oh, he's hating. No, I don't have to hate you. Like
You're just being
you
honest.
yeah, you have everything that you've done, I've done. So why am I hating on you? I'm trying to help you,
Hmm.
but you're not paying attention because it was done to me. You see how close we are on this screen?
Hmm.
Oh, I was at a restaurant with the great Will Chamberlain. How many words do you think he said to me? I'll tell you, 0. And then I hear the waiter go up to him and go, Mister Chamberlain, Mr. O'Neal's right behind you. Eh, That's what he did. So now, I'm not gonna beat him up. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. My thing, I was upset, but I'm like, okay, Wilt don't know who I am. I'm playing for the same team he played for. Okay, watch this. Same thing with Kareem. We're playing against the Clippers, and he's the coach. And I didn't even know he was a coach. So I do like a little move. I do like a little hook shot. The same sky hook he did. The crowd goes crazy. I look at Kareem. He puts his head down. Now I'm fucking pissed. I was like, mother, you're not gonna look at me, Kareem. You're not gonna look at me. All right, Kareem, watch this. Score another 10 points. Now I got 30. He's still not looking at me. I end up that game doing 61 points and he still didn't look at me. But again, they have done something I haven't done. I read an article one day and they're telling Kareem, hey, Kareem, Shaq's one of the most dominant big men ever. And Kareem says, well, if he's so dominant, how come they keep getting swept and he hasn't won championships?
Ooh.
And it was the truth. I'm probably the biggest superstar that has been swept the most. I think I've been swept 5 or 6 times. But he said it. Now I can't say, Kareem, you just hating. Kareem got 6 rings. I think he knows what he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of whining and crying, I said, okay, watch this, Mr. Kareem, and end up winning 3 in a row. So now me and Kareem we have a great relationship. And I asked him, he said, hey man, I just wanted the best for you. And he said Will did the same to him. Something I never knew. I was like, I thought you and Wilt were friends. He's like, no, Wilt was brutal to me. He's like, I wanted to do the same thing to you. I saw greatness in you, but everybody else was telling you you were great, but it wasn't making sense because you didn't have any championships. So I wanted to make you so mad because I know the type of character you have. I watched you. I was like, you watch me? He's like, Shaq, I've been watching you since LSU. Like, I almost cried. I'm like, because that's all I wanted. I just wanted him to have that conversation with me, but he did it the way he did it, which worked.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try it with people that I like. I had this conversation with Dwight. He said, "Man, I thought you didn't like me." I said, "Dwight, you wasn't paying attention. I love you.
Mm.
I don't like you. I love you. You did stuff that I couldn't do. I wanted to make you mad because I contacted one of your teammates, Jameer. I was like, is he soft? She was like, no, he not soft. I was like, okay, he not soft. All right. I don't care about the Superman. Like I wanted to get him so mad and so enraged that he played at a high level, but he didn't understand that, and like people don't understand that. So a lot of time when I'm criticizing you as a player, it must mean I like you. Because guess what?
Interesting.
I don't have to say your name. Like it's like my decision. I'm in charge. So if I don't want to say your name, I don't have to say. But if I do say your name and say what you should do, I think you should listen because I have G14 classification, and if I don't have that G14 classification at your position, I play with somebody that does. So when it comes to talking about the guards, I know I'm not a guard, but I raised Penny,
Yep.
I raised Kobe, I raised D Wade. I joined LeBron when he was already great. I played with Paul Pierce when he was already great. So I've seen the best. I played with some of the best shooters. So I could say, instead of shooting like this, I could say, leave it. I
Mm-hmm.
played with Pete Scott and Glenn Rice and Jason Capone and Robert Ory. I've seen all these guys on the Derek Fisher. I've seen all these guys when they make shot, they leave it. So I can go to you and say, hey, man, on that jump shot, leave it. Because I have that classification. But a lot of these guys don't understand. But it just makes it all fun. Like when they get on their podcast and we go back and forth,
Mm-hmm.
it's marketing this thing of ours. So I enjoy it.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, like the tough love that we were able to have when we were younger. I mean, I grew up in the 90s, so I still grew up rough around the edges and tough girl from Chicago. But I do think the era these days like tends to be just a little bit more soft. So like they need to hear the constructive criticism, but they also want to hear the compliment, right? Like when you go into a meeting and you're maybe reprimanding your employee, you're going to start with something positive first, right? Like I really like that you're doing this, but we need to talk about this. I just feel like that's the way this Generation Z has grown up, where it's like the coddling, which I don't think helps, but I also don't think they love
I,
the hate.
I agree, and I hate it, and I will not change.
Good.
Like if it gets to the point to where you think I'm being hard on you, I just won't say your name anymore. Doesn't matter to me, because I think I know what greatness is,
Yeah.
and even about it's not even about me being great. I've seen greatness before I enter this thing of ours. I help others become great, and I've been part of greatness. So I know what greatness feels like, looks like, and I know what the ending should look like. For me, it was 3 in a row.
Hmm.
Get traded, get another one, get older, fall out gracefully.
What is one thing all of the greatest players have in common? If you had to say one thing.
We don't we don't ever believe we're going to get old. We always think we can do it, and no matter what the situation is, we always think we can win. Even when all the times I got swept, I would always say like, all right, now I just gotta win four in a row. I'm averaging 28. I got to get 45 tonight. I got to get 45 points tonight, and I got to bust ass, and we got to win four in a row.
So I know you've done thousands of interviews, same stories over and over again. I know you probably were repetitive in some of the stuff you told me, but a lot of it was still news to me. So let's talk about some of the uncensored Shaq stories, some of the craziest stuff that we maybe don't get to see all the time. Give me a crazy locker room story that you've never told on air.
It depends on what you ask me. You got to ask me. I don't
Gotta
know.
ask you a crazy locker room story.
I can't.
You can't think of one? Is there anything on any time on the Lakers that anything that happened with a player or a prank you pulled?
I have many, but
Many.
I can't tell them. I have other people tell you. Like
Okay.
here's a story that somebody once told about me. That's a crazy one. I'll let you find that one.
I
I
think I
can't
know
say.
it. I just don't want to
Yeah,
say it.
yeah, that one.
Is it true?
Oh,
You're fucking wild. That's great.
is it?
Is it? I think so. I will
Uh,
say there's this funny picture of you online. It's one of my favorite pictures because it's hilarious. But like I think Kobe was doing an interview and you're back there and you like mooned the camera during his interview in the background.
I was stretching.
You were stretching. I saw you pull the shorts all the way up. I mean, butt cheeks
You
and
actually,
everything.
you actually didn't see me. You just saw the photo.
Oh,
Ah,
the
you
photo. But I
didn't
didn't
see
see
me.
you. I saw the photo. Okay.
Exactly. So
That's fair.
which means it was AI.
AI didn't exist back then.
Yes, asshole intelligence.
Oh my god. Oh god, that's hilarious. Have you done stuff like that before too? In like interviews where you'll just like no, there's one interview you did. Oh, I love this one. It was post game. You were saying the refs are taking over the fucking game and they're like, "We're live, Shaq." You're like, "I don't give
I
a
don't give
shit."
a shit. Yeah.
That was one of my favorite post
Yes.
games with you
Yeah,
too.
it was. It was.
Did you get in trouble for that?
What does that mean, get in trouble?
Fined?
I can only get in trouble by my parents. And my
Ah,
father, rest in peace, my mom. So
yeah.
when I get in trouble, she called and was like, baby, relax.
Yeah.
That's all. So I don't get in trouble.
It was
Like
great for television though.
like this world we live in, people do things, it goes viral. It's like we're living in a tattletale world. Ooh,
Mhm.
he did this, he did that, he did that. But what's the outcome? Like if the outcome is you're not going to jail, what are we even doing it for?
Who cares? Yeah.
That's what, ooh, he did this, he did that. Like,
Ooh.
okay,
Who
yeah.
gives a fuck? Everyone does shit. Everyone does things that they're not proud
Yeah,
of, or they
yeah,
say things in the heat of the moment. Like, I know people don't know how to just let go and move on.
yeah.
It's crazy shit.
Like one time I wanted, it was a coach. Actually, George Call, was one of the ones who started the Hackshack. And I was like, he's coaching like a, I wanted to say the B word, but we was on air. I was like, he's coaching like a female coach, but I didn't mean it like that. Oh, the Female Coaches Association went in on me. And then another time, because I grew up watching Chinese movies, so I didn't know anything about Yao Ming. Because I don't pay attention to players. I know he was a big guy coming from China,
Hmm.
so I wanted to make it interesting. So I was like, Yao Ming, tomorrow we meet at the Forum at 5 p.m. Eastern time. Oh, they tried to make it. Oh, he's being racist. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I grew up watching Chinese karate movies, and this is how it was. So I was just trying to, Shaq Fu,
Yeah.
karate versus Yao
Yeah.
Ming. Like I was trying to do the whole marketing thing, but the people
Get
they even
offended by
rioted
everything.
the game. They even rioted the game in China and Houston. We got to Houston. It was a whole bunch of people. I was like, man, shut the hell up.
They
Like
get offended by every little thing you do.
exactly. I was like, first of all, I've been to China 100 times. They love me. They know I love China. Stop it, people. Stop trying to, impeach the witness. That's what you're
It's
trying to
just,
do.
yeah. And like some people do coach like bitches or shoot like a bitch. Like I say that shit too. Like, what are you gonna like
Well,
cancel me over saying some shit about other women? Like,
I
okay,
know.
I make jokes all the
I
time. I
watch
need to
you.
go to the kitchen. You know, I
I remember.
belong in the kitchen. Like, I literally say that all the time. I don't
I
care.
remember. I remember. I was scrolling to your page. I was like, "Who is this good-looking girl talking shit?" And then I was like, I started following. I was like, "She's fucking ruthless. I like
Ruthless
her.
and
You are."
relentless. I want to talk about your dream team, but there's a catch. Okay. A generic all-time team, but there's rules and restrictions for creativity.
Let's do it.
You can only draft players under 6'5". Who's your
No
squad?
problem. Steph Curry,
Okay.
Allen Iverson, Charles Barkley because he's 6'4".
Without shoes.
So that's three. I need
3.
one more.
2 more.
Oh, okay. So I'm not. So I'm not on the team.
No.
How tall is Draymond?
You could do Draymond. He'll
All right,
qualify.
Draymond.
Okay.
Draymond at the center. That's 4. And one more. I'm gonna give me another shooter. You never heard his name, but I've been saying it on TV a lot. Mike Penberthy.
I feel like I have heard the name.
Yeah, he was a guy that he played with me on the Lakers, but before that, I think he was a UPS driver. And he
No
tried,
shit.
tried a little white guy, shoot the hell out of the ball. Yeah, I think we have a ring together.
Wow.
I don't like Rodman because he did something I can never do. When he played with us with the Lakers, he would show up late to the pregame meetings, eating rice and chicken, never warmed up, went and got 20 freaking rebounds a game. After the game, never showered, went to the club, and had all the beautiful girls in LA at his table all over him,
Oh
smelling like
my.
smelling like garbage truck water. And they loved him. And I used to walk in the club like, and all the pretty girls were like, I'm like, that's the girl I was looking at, and they're all over there with him, and I'm like,
Damn.
it drove me crazy.
So
Like,
you
and
took
then,
that personally.
'cause- I mean, because I was the party guy, and it was like, hey, Dennis having a party. Let me go check this Dennis party out. Like, I've never seen like I thought I brought the ladies out. Dennis brought the ladies out, and
Wow.
he never showered after the game. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Never.
He didn't want to skip a beat. He's like, I got to get to the club right when the game
We
ends.
went to the club, and we used to pull in there, and they were all over him dancing. I'm like models and top models. I'm like, damn, man.
Damn, these girls got no standards back in the day, huh? They just
I
go after
know,
smelly guys.
I know, right?
Couldn't be me. I'm big on the hygiene factor. I mean, you can at least take a shower. It takes like 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
Oh my god, that's so fucking gross. Okay, the next one I have here for you. You can only pick players who never won a ring. Who are you picking? Top 5.
Oh, AI, Derrick Rose,
Oh, love that. That's my guy.
Barkley,
Okay.
Malone.
Love.
Can I get one more?
Yep.
I'm gonna go with D. Scott.
Okay. The winning team.
Yeah.
I think they'd get a ring. What do you think?
Oh yeah. I probably won't get a ring, but make a lot of noise.
Okay, that's fair. You can only draft players based on personalities, not talent. Who's on your team?
AI.
Okay, so you're taking AI across the board. Love this.
Taking AI across the board because he don't like to practice, and he'll make a press conference that'll be heard for years.
Yeah.
Barkley because he's funny and mean. LeBron is funny as hell. A lot of people don't know.
He is. He is.
He's really funny.
Very charismatic.
Yao Ming because he'll fake people out. Because he's like when I first played against him, I thought it was a language barrier. He speaks excellent English.
Oh.
Excellent, not good English. Excellent English. That's 4 and one more.
Yep.
Probably go with Steve Nash because he's good looking and he'll bring all the ladies to the game.
Love it. And the last one I have for this is you can only pick guys who would survive the 90s NBA. So they have to be now players that are current.
Oh.
And then 5 of them that would make the cut for the 90s NBA.
Russell,
Ooh. Okay.
Giannis, Shea
Oh, yeah, for sure.
because he's herky jerky. That's
This game
3.
is so smooth.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Joker. He'd have been a little bit Sabonis-y, but
Very, yeah.
yeah.
Old
that's
school
4.
Sabonis.
And 5, I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna say he would have been a little AI. I'm gonna go with Brunson.
Yes. Okay, that was one guy that you didn't mention that before when I was asking about greatness. Jalen Brunson. I love it.
I love Brunson.
Yeah, one of my favorite players. Okay, we got like 3 more minutes, and I promise I'll let you go. I really appreciate your time. We're gonna just run through some rapid fire. You got time?
Yep, let's do it.
You are the best. Okay. What is one player you couldn't stand during your career, but now you're cool with?
Karl Malone
Okay. What's the most money you ever?
and Alonzo Mourning.
And okay, Alonzo Mourning. So you guys are cool with now.
Oh yeah.
If you had been teammates with MJ in the '90s instead of Kobe, what happens?
Oh, we win 9 instead of 6.
9 instead of 6. Okay.
Yeah.
If you could go back and win one more ring, but it means Barkley gets to win one too, are you doing it?
Yeah. So
Love it.
I can always say to him, "You only got a ring because of me."
So first it's you didn't win a ring, you can't talk championships, but now it's you wouldn't be here because of me. Oh, I love that. Is like typical Shaq form.
Yeah.
What is one on-air moment with Chuck that was 100% real anger? Like you were like fucking mad.
Like he does it still. He's been doing it for 12 years. Like Ernie is the best. He'll look at you, 1, look at Kenny, 2, and then he looks at me for 3, and then Chuck just takes over. I'm like, bro, supposed to be 1, 2, 3, not 1, 2 back to 1. So that moment was real.
Okay.
Yes.
Who's one current player you think is overrated, but you wouldn't say it on TNT?
I don't think anybody's like you talking about like a Rudy Gobert or a Ben Simmons. Like I would never say those names.
But no, just like people, like I guess like someone that everyone always rants and raves about, but you just don't see it.
Are you talking about a Rudy Gobert or
Yeah,
Ben Simmons?
something like I guess.
I would never say those names.
Okay, yeah, because you can't have them. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I know
Yeah.
your rule, so you can't say the name, but okay.
Again, I would never say Rudy Gobert or Ben Simmons. I just can't say it.
Okay. You say it without saying it.
I didn't say anything.
Okay.
I never said Rudy Gobert or Ben Simmons. I just said I
You
wouldn't say
didn't.
those.
You wouldn't. Okay.
Yeah.
What's a moment where you were really insecure, but nobody knew?
All the time, but it just motivates me.
What are you insecure about?
Everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Why?
It's called being human.
True. I have my insecurities too.
Like growing up, we dream about perfection, but what people don't understand is perfection is whatever's in the eye of the beholder. But I want perfection. I want to be liked. I want to be loved. I want a 9-pack. I want a 12-pack. I want to not be old. I want to take this gray and put some dye in it and make it black and make me like, and anybody that doesn't have those are the ones that are miserable. Like you have things, and then again, when it's difficult, you just figure it out. Of course, I have insecurities.
See, I love that because you never want to stop growing and evolving and improving yourself, whether it's physically or mentally. And I think that's really powerful.
Thank you.
Because some people will just be like, whatever. I've lived the life. I could just kind of give up now. But you're still in the gym. You're still working out. You have so many other goals and aspirations you want to achieve. And I think that's a really good message for people who think like their life is over when they hit a certain age. You know, like I'm in my 30s and there's all this stigma around, oh, like you're getting old and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm in my fucking 30s, dude. Like, what?
Yeah, like I do stuff to like, talk about Chris Bumstead. Like, I wish I had that body so I can take my shirt off on Instagram and flex. So I use that as motivation. So right now I'm at about 85% discipline. I got to stay disciplined because I'll go like a week and then I'll see a couple of Krispy Kreme donuts and I'll be like, all right, I'll start again tomorrow. So if I had that 1,000% discipline, which I'm almost at, I'll be able to. So hopefully by the end of the summer, I'll give the people a taste of what I've been doing in the gym. And
I love it.
again, that's what I do it now. No, because I'm insecure because this right under boob is still a little booby.
I mean,
I just got to tighten it up, and once I tighten it up, I'll show a picture. But
if it makes you feel any better, I wish I had that problem. I can barely fit in any of the dresses I'm wearing. It's too small. But no, I think it's great that you continue to motivate yourself and wanting to do better, bigger and better things. It's just you never give up. Have you ever told a lie to the media just to stir things up?
all the time.
What was the craziest one?
I have no idea, but all the time.
Tell me a
It's
lie
all,
right now and we'll spread it like wildfire.
it's all about marketing.
I agree. See, you're like one of the only ones that like understands it. Like that's why it's also really impressive because after your career, it's like you understand how this works.
Oh, the biggest lie I told, and I got caught because he finally spoke up about it. I said when I was young, David Robinson didn't give me an autograph. That's why I tried to kill him every time. But it wasn't true. I tried to kill him because when I got to San Antonio, I flooded the headlines. Then when he got there, he flooded the headlines. He took away my shine. So I've always hated him for that. So I just made this thing up in my mind. Oh, you didn't sign an autograph one time? Oh, wait till I get to NBA. I'm gonna try. So and then he finally said, Shaq says I didn't sign his autograph. That's not true. I met Shaq and when I met him, he was very nice. He was like one of the nicest, most polite guys. But in order to be the master, the student must kill the master someday. So
Yeah,
he was way better than me. So I had to kill him. I had to demolish him. But that
I
was a
love
lie
that.
that I finally got caught with.
I mean, you got to do what you got to do. I mean, that's why I
Yeah,
think even like guys like Patrick Beverly or Draymond Green having podcasts, like just the amount of shit that they talk
I love
and
it.
the confidence, like even if we don't believe what they're saying or we don't think that we believe what they're saying,
I love it.
you need it. You need
Yeah.
these talking points and like you want to be seen, you want to be known. So sometimes you have to like go against the grain and say some wild shit. And that's
Yes.
just
I love it.
how it works. If you had to swap lives with one former teammate for a month, who would it be and why?
Rick Fox.
Why?
He dated some hot people.
I mean, he's very good looking himself, so I can imagine.
He dated some. He was dating this actress one time. I'm not gonna say her name, but oh my God, I would have loved to. You know,
Date her,
yeah, date
among
her.
other things. Date her.
Yeah, date her.
Speaking of actresses, who's the most famous person that you've ever DM'd?
Not yet. I'm doing right now. I DM a lot of people, but not for that purpose.
Okay.
The most famous person I saw made me do something I hadn't do in 20 years. I saw Halle Berry in an elevator one time, and my stuttering kicked in, and it was just me and her in the elevator. Like I was at the Four Seasons, and I was coming from downstairs in the elevator when she got in, looking like perfection, and she's like, "Hi, Shaquille," and I was like,
You couldn't say anything.
and all I heard was ding, ding.
Oh,
I heard 8 dings. I remember she getting up on the 8th floor because I was at the pin. I was like, ding, ding,
she's probably
ding. Yeah,
like, what the fuck
yeah,
is wrong with this guy?
yeah. Because as a kid, I was like, boy, if I meet Halle Berry, we're gonna date, we're gonna marry. Like that was my dream girl. And she's just looking at me, and I was like, hello, Miss Halle. All right, nice to meet you, Shaquille. And she walked off, and I was like, fuck.
So if you
Because
can redo the moment, what would you say?
oh, hi, how are you? We'd love to take you out on a date. Boom, boom, boom. Always wanted to meet you. I don't want anything from it. And then listen, all it takes for me is one date. Was once you go Shaq, you never go back.
Ooh,
What?
is
Yeah.
that
Ooh.
so?
Oh yes.
Well, okay, where are you taking these girls on a date? I mean, are you picking them up and
Well,
what's the whole like? What does the date look like then?
well, with Halle Berry, I definitely would have sabotaged the date. I would have called a restaurant and shut it all the way down. Had little flowers and all that. And
Oh,
just would have been myself. That's all.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
And
love
she would
that.
have loved it.
She
And then
would.
listen, she just did a Mother's Day where she was laying in bed with the guy. If I would have spoken elevator, that would have been me.
Maybe one day it will be. You never know,
In in my mind, anyway.
right? In your mind, you never
Yeah,
know. Never give up on that. Never give
exactly,
up on the woman of your dream, Shaq.
exactly.
Well, I want to thank you so much for
No
taking the
problem.
time to interview with me today.
Listen, we have time. You call me anytime. You send me the link. I'll jump on with you.
Perfect. Well, thank you so
All right,
much. This is the
all right,
Ashley Neville Show. Thank you
all right.
guys for tuning in.